Hey, I'm ZSH Plays. Welcome back to San Bernardino Zoo and welcome to our brand new desert house. Today we're going to be taking a tour from the Water Terraces, which we haven't seen completed yet, through the Palm Cafe to the brand new Katmai desert house, where we have 5 of the new animals from the Arid Animal pack. Alright, so we're going to start our tour here in the Water Terraces. This is the path that leads down from the entrance into the Water Terraces, and this is one of the first parts of the zoo that you come to, depending on which path you want to go down. We've got the entrance away up there. Behind us is going to be Australia, the area that we're going to be working on next. But today we're going to start here in the Water Terraces and make our way down via the Palm Cafe to our brand new desert house. So this path allows the guests to go all the way around here and then looping round into the Water Terraces, or there's some steps down here which the in-game guests can't use, but we can. So we're going to take a look at the first animal that the guests will come to, depending on which path they take, which is the red-crowned cranes. So here's their habitat. We've got a breeding pair and a little chick as well in here at the moment, which is very cute. I really like the planting in this habitat. I tried to make it so it sort of starts outside the habitat and then extends inside it. And then we've got one of our huge billboards at the back to give it a bit more of a natural feel. This is based on an aviary in Geneva called the Bois de la Bâtie, which I am a big fan of. And then over here is something you've not seen, which is, oh, there's our new mechanics. I love the fact that we can change the colours now, make them slightly less cartoonish. This is the staff building for the terraces and the entrance. We've got our fountain there. And then over here, we've got the flamingos. This was the first habitat we built way back in episode 1. Still really happy with it. It's sort of expensive looking without being too crazy, which is the main vibe that I want to go for in this zoo. So a few changes since back in episode 1. The flamingos get pretty stressed. Some of the zoo, the island, isn't connected to the rest of the zoo yet. I'm getting a lot more guests than the parts of the zoo they can access can handle, really. So these flamingos get stressed sometimes. So there's a couple of little islands I've added in that they can hide behind, as well as the existing shelter. But yeah, I think this was a nice start to the zoo. I'm happy with it. And I love the fact that there's a bit of a view behind it now. Slowly starting to get more stuff in the zoo. Let's go and check out the Tree Frog Oasis. This is still one of my favourite builds in the zoo. I've done a few of these sort of big exhibits using loads of different exhibits joined together before, and I think this is the best one that I've done. We've got this sort of ornamental pond in front of it, the big sign, and then behind it, shrouded in mist, is the tree frogs themselves. That there is a little backstage path that takes the staff round to the research centre that we built, which you can just see off in the distance there. This exhibit is based loosely on some of the scenery in the Singapore Zoo. There's a big cliff with a waterfall, steam, etc. It looks absolutely amazing, so I use that as an influence. So we've got all the tree frogs in here. Basically we've got golden poison frogs there in 2 exhibits. There we go. And then we've got red-eyed tree frogs here. Got donation bins everywhere. This is a franchise zoo, so we need the guests to be donating. More red-eyed tree frogs here. There's one. And then we've got the layman's poison frog here. The little peek through here. I always like to try and make the exhibit boxes look as interesting as possible. So it's all kind of randomly, well, not randomly, but rocks placed all over it so that you don't get the big sort of squares that you would normally have in terms of the viewing windows. And yeah, that is the Water Terraces. It's only a small area, but it's designed to have loads of space because this is predominantly the first area that the guests will come to, so you don't want to sort of cram them in or force them through a little walkthrough or anything like that. A nice big plaza for them to have room. And then this leads us round to the Palm Cafe, which is over here. This is a little North African style cafe There was no kind of concept behind it really. I wanted it to be white, so I thought that would fit in nicely with the shelter for the flamingos. I ended up coming up with a North African style, which is really useful because the desert house that we're going to visit in a minute, it contains entirely African animals, and I built that in a North African style as well. So this was purely a coincidence. It wasn't like incredible planning or anything like that. Just got lucky, but I really like this. I've got the restaurant so that the restaurant is outside, so we've got this nice open plan kitchen here. Cutting up some carrots, and then I've covered up the back wall so it looks like we've got a sort of sous chef or something taking orders, and then we've got inside seating here for the guests as well. And they've also got, I guess I'll smoothly cut to a cinematic here, some upstairs seating up there, which gives a really nice view out over the desert house. And then around here we've got the zoo's picnic area. So we've got 3 vans here dedicated to some of my favourite Planet Zoo builders and pals who are always encouraging and helpful and who I've learned a lot from. We've got BZ Beer, got some little beer pumps here dedicated to BZ. We've got Roman Ices dedicated to Romano Palacios. And then we've got JP Shakes dedicated to JP, who I've spoken about many times in this series, our consultant. And then there's a bit of a picnic area back here. This is where the sort of finished zoo starts to end. You can see this temporary path here which just takes people round to Amazonia. That will be filled in with a brand new area of the zoo soon. And that is the back of the research centre that we saw earlier. Alright, let's go and check out our brand new desert house. Here is the desert house. Got some nice custom signage there. And the first thing you come to is the only exhibit that is outdoors for the animals and the guests as well, which is our meerkat exhibit. There they are, we've just had some babies. Who doesn't love meerkats? They're so cute. Those rocks up there enable them to go and sort of take up their sentry style viewing or vantage point that they like to do to watch out for eagles, etc. Took an absolute age to get that to work so they could actually walk up there and walk around on the top, but I finally managed it. And yeah, it's pretty simple, but I really like this habitat. It's based on a habitat that I built for Tekton Zoo, which I really liked at the time. I thought I could do it better, so it's a lot smoother and a lot more interesting inside than the one at Tekton Zoo. And then round here we've got the first of the brand new animals, the African crested porcupine. Their habitat starts outside here. Don't know if we've got any outside at the moment. Nope. Those are the sleeping logs I made as well. They're on the workshop if you want to download those. And you can just see through there that they've got an inside part of the habitat as well. And then over here is the external part of the sandcat habitat. Again, this goes back into the building. There's one. I really like these guys. I was kind of worried when Frontier released their screenshots. They looked really weird, but they do look a lot better in game. They are really cute. They've just had a couple of babies as well. You might see them on the inside. Again, loads of climbing and a really nice Moroccan theme to the exhibit here. And there's a slightly North African feel to the trim on the building as well. Tried to combine my usual sort of white concrete modernist buildings with a more of a North African feel. This is the Katmai Desert House, as I said when we started building it, dedicated to Katmai at Frontier, who sends me emails with early access and lots of lovely stuff like that. So I thought it was about time we named something for her. And then this takes us inside to the interior, which we built last week. Really happy with this. It's a lot more intricate than the stuff I normally do. I think it looks really good. We've got the desert horned viper here, which we may or may not see. Looks like it's a knot. Oh no, there we go. Good disguise. We've got the interior of the sandcats here. Done a bit more work on this since the episode as well. They've got a little heat lamp there now. Oh, there's one of the kittens. You can just see it, they are so tiny. This habitat is way bigger than they need, which is very unusual for Planet Zoo. But yeah, it sort of wanted to match the porcupine habitat over here, and these guys need a lot of space in Planet Zoo, so the sandcat habitat is bigger than it needs to be. So hopefully we can see some porcupines here, unless they are in their burrow. There we go. There is what I just learned is called a porcupet. How cute is that? The little porcupet was born in the burrow, so this is when he emerged for the first time. Very cute. And then through here are the hoofstock habitats. This, I think, is my favourite part of the whole building, really. The view from the sort of decorative archways out into the hoofstock habitat. We've got the Addax here, and we've got Dama Gazelle in here as well. There's one. And I finally built the shelter that I was talking about last week. Just a nice, simple, realistic wooden shelter. That's going to go all over the zoo for any hoofstock or any sort of animals that it's appropriate for. So I wanted that to be nice and generic. And you can see the jaguar dome peeping over the top of the wall there as well. And then on the other side, we've got a habitat for the scimitar horned oryx. Very similar. Mostly copy and pasted and then just rearranged, but yeah, I just love the way it's pretty dark and it feels quite cool in here. And then you've got the hot sun outside. I think that works really nicely. If you're a bit confused over the layout, if you check out the Amazonia tour from a couple of months ago, we go from the entrance down to Amazonia, which is on the other side of the entrance to this area. You can sort of see how it all fits together. Let's jump into the drone cam and see how this building came together. We have done a lot of work over the last few weeks. We got a brand new area of the zoo completed. I really like how this looks. Thank you so much for watching as always. I will see you next Saturday for the start at last of Australia. See you then. Bye.